Hello, everybody. This is the Earful Tower podcast. My name is Oliver G, and today I'm going to introduce you. I think, in fact, they need no introduction, but I'm going to get to know the real guys. We've got Alex and Tom from Frenchies, the most popular dudes on the internet when it comes to France, at least. And they're sitting in the studio in front of me right now. Gentlemen, welcome to the studio.
Bonjour.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you two doing?
Oh, we're doing good. Alex was just in Copenhagen and I was just in New Orleans, and we just came here for you.
You came here for the podcast. I don't believe it, but I like it. You've got your hand in a cast.
Yeah, I do.
Let's cover this first. What's going on?
So first off, my name is Tom, and I'm the one with the hand on in the cast. I played soccer. Alex and I always do a tournament every single year in the month of June. We played soccer together. Soccer is basically how we grew up together. So we're still having some fun and go around playing some tournaments.
Too much fun, apparently.
Yeah, and I got tackled. And my whole body basically fell on my. I fall on my wrist, and I heard a big crack.
Yep.
I went to the hospital, and they told me my wrist was broken. So
right.
I'm in a cast for 6 weeks, and we'll see after.
Yikes! Luckily, making content online doesn't require too much wrist. I mean.
It's actually better for us, to be honest with you, because there's more empathy from people.
There you go.
No,
So there's a branding. It's a branding thing.
I get the sense, Alex, if we switch to my left, no broken wrists. I wonder if people can tell the difference between your voices when they're listening. Alex, introduce yourself a little bit.
My name is Alex. I'm the A of Frenchies. I do not have a broken wrist, even though I'm the goalkeeper in the two of us, which is the fun part. But yeah, I'm from Paris, and I'm based in Los Angeles, California.
Right.
So
I think people will have. I think because you sound a little bit more American, Alex.
He does.
And you've
have my
retained that
French
French
he's too
accent.
proud. He's way too proud.
I love it. The thing is, I think I need to keep it. I mean, I try to also Americanize myself in the way I talk because I want to be understood more and more by everyone.
Sure.
But I think that my French accent is still there and needs to be here because I'm from France. But also, as long as people understand me, that's completely fine.
Well, that's an interesting point because we're opposites in that you guys are French in an English-speaking country. I'm an English-speaking man in a French-speaking country. And often people will comment when I speak French, so they go, oh, you've got an accent. And I'm like, I got an accent when I speak English. I've got an accent because I'm a foreigner. So it's weird to get rid of an accent, if anything.
I mean, it's hard. And honestly, Alex did an amazing job. I don't know how he did that in 6 years. But
I think it's through our videos. That's the fun part is I really often play the Chad and Brad role when Tom is the typical Parisian.
Right.
And the only way to make those skits funny was to obviously be able to get rid of this accent when needed. So I took some theater classes and I took a lot of communication classes in college. I mean, Tom graduated in a communication major.
Still have the accent. Though.
Still have the accent. And so, yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of videos.
Right.
I used to live in the Midwest. I lived in Ohio and Wisconsin. I used to come visit Tom in the South all the time. And
In the south of the States.
exactly. In the south of the States, Alabama, Mississippi. And I picked up on these accents. And I try to play with those because, I mean, the Brad and Chad in Paris with the loud American accent is just something that make people laugh.
But also when you do your videos, it feels like you're exaggerating your French accent.
100%, yeah, because we also play on that too.
I'd say 500% now. Hearing
Yeah.
you talk.
yeah. Well, because obviously we're known for having a thick accent. And Tom is the proof, the living proof of that.
I think there's thicker than me. I'm still growing in my accent. I'm becoming better in the American one.
Way better, yeah.
Right? But yeah, I love the French touch of it. And also, whenever you meet new people, it's always nice to have like that conversation or where are you from? Where's that accent from? I always like to talk about that. So.
When people meet you outside of your videos, like they don't know who you are and they meet you in the southern states of America, do they love hearing your accent?
Yes, they do. I always have accent. I always have questions about my accent, either because I first came to Mississippi, so my first college was in Jackson. Then I went to Alabama in Mobile, and now I'm in New Orleans. So I was all over the South.
I bet there's not many French people down there.
There is not many until you go to Louisiana because it's like a French originated state and they speak Cajun French.
Yeah.
So it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Because people always tell me like, do they speak French to you? And the thing is, they don't. I mean, they try. They have their own side of the French language. It's very difficult to understand for a French speaker.
Yeah.
But it's still amazing to have people come up to me and try to speak my language whenever it's not theirs.
Yeah.
And I mean, kind of theirs too, because it's Cajun. So it's...
What is Cajun French? I've never...
It's the Louisiana French.
Can you give me a little taste of it?
Oh my God, I do not know.
Not even a little bit.
2 years there and he doesn't know a word of Cajun French.
There is not that many people that speak it.
Yeah.
But the people that do, they want to talk to me and like speak to me with the Cajun French.
Yeah.
But I cannot pick a single word.
Wow.
Like it's very, very different, but it sounds French.
Yeah.
But the words, I cannot pick on them.
What about, is it hard for you as a Frenchman to call it Orleans instead of Orléans?
So the thing is, that's a great thing. It's actually not New Orleans. Like most of all the states in the US, or most people actually mispronounce New Orleans. It's New Orleans. If you go there and you ask New Orleans people, like if you ask them, they would say New Orleans.
Don't they say like New Orleans?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's not New Orleans. Like
Yeah.
it's mostly, I always ask New Orleans people why people say New Orleans. It's because there is a famous song that was released, I think, in the 90s. I'm bad, I don't remember the name
Right.
of the song. And to make this music and the words rhyme, that singer went New Orleans.
Like
and
beans, like beans.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so
it
since
became
that
popular.
day, it became popular, and everyone in the US thinks it's New Orleans, but it's
Well,
actually New Orleans.
I know that we have listeners down in that state, whatever it's called, and they're going to write in and they're going to spell it out for all
Please
of us.
help us out.
Yes. I want to talk more about you guys being in America, because I think that's kind of interesting. Because often it's the other way around. The people that I interview on the show, people living in Paris, especially foreigners living in Paris. But first, I think we should rewind and talk a little bit about what you do. I didn't give you your due credit. You have built something that is enormous, and you've done it very quickly.
Thank you
and
so
it's
much.
very impressive. Like, I mean, I was looking it up last night. If you add up all the people that follow you, it's got to be
4.4.
4.4 million.
Yeah.
You have to say million.
Yeah, I do. I should
can't
have.
be too proud. Like, this is
Gotta stay humble.
It's incredible. 4.4 million, mostly on TikTok, is it?
Yeah, mostly. But
TikTok,
I guess it's
TikTok, Instagram,
Yeah.
YouTube.
the following is
Snapchat.
mostly on TikTok, but the community and where people are more engaged, it's on Instagram.
Interesting that it happens. I think that's often the case for a lot of people.
There's way more tools than just videos.
Mm.
There's stories and like carousel posts.
Sure. And so you've built this thing for people who've never heard and who'll be looking it up now. There's a lot of skits. There's a lot of language-based stuff. And I think, and I say this with all due respect, I think at a cursory glance at your stuff, people might be quick to say, oh, they're just doing silly little French things. But at a
It's deeper than that, yeah.
That's what I was going to say. A deeper look at it, like I said before, it's incredible what you've built as like ambassadors for the French language and
Thank
French
you again.
culture. And it wasn't really until I met Alex, we met a handful of times now. I hate to sound like I'm
Bougie.
sophisticated here, but it's like embassy
Yeah, that's
related
true.
events and stuff. Usually you're wearing a bow tie.
I mean, you
or
have to
something.
be proud as
Oh,
well.
wait.
Yeah, that's true. But hearing you talk and seeing how you explained it to people what you do, it's really, this is something. And I want to kind of get into it a little bit, because what do you say if someone goes, oh yeah, you do little skits on the internet? Does that
Oh,
I mean, you
well,
can
that's
say
fine
yes.
too.
Yeah.
Technically, we do little
That's what we
skits on
do.
the internet.
But then what happens if someone important comes up and says, what do you really do? How do you pitch it to them?
I mean, when someone had come up to us and ask what we really do, obviously we would first say that we're content creator, influencers, YouTuber, you name it. But it takes way more than just doing little funny skits. There's a lot of research behind it. We have people working full time for us, with us, I should say. And when you do this for 4 years and you post every single day, sometimes you can run out of content. I think that social media these days, there's a lot of people posting, going viral, and then we don't hear about them. Like one hit wonder.
One hit wonder, yeah.
And I think that when you stay in the space for 4 years and you're still relevant, that shows all of the dedication, the hard work that's behind the scene. I mean, we spend hours looking at forums.
I think it's 24 hours. We're just even.
We
when
have
you're-
watching sessions of people on the streets.
Yeah, when you're in the
What do
subway.
you mean? What do you mean?
I mean, we look at people.
We look at
when they
we sit down at cafe and look at tourist behavior and look at waiters' behavior, and we go to the Louvre and look how people.
You mean professional people watching? That's what you're talking about.
Yes,
but whenever they speak to us as well, like it's also personal experiences. So what we do is we basically talk about differences in cultures. We talk about differences in languages. We try to talk about every single thing, but always have a touch of humor at the end. I mean, as long as we're trying to be funny sometimes, and also educate people on the French language. Also, we can do both. I mean, we try to teach French. We also try to make skits that are funny, and also try to educate people about the French culture, because that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I mean, the whole French, AT Frenchies started because of us moving to the US. When you're a French person living here, you don't really understand this passion that goes towards French culture and language.
As in, you mean the passion from abroad, people that
from
love,
abroad? Yeah. I mean, for me,
from us.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, no, I know, but I never thought that France was this much loved abroad. Yeah. So when we moved to the US, and then during COVID, Tom and I were sitting down in South Carolina, blocked in Charleston, because I remember Trump closed the borders, and we sat down and was like, Tom, we should probably make a video about France and French language and our accents, and make silly jokes about. One of our first video was the only thing people remember after 3 years of French in high school is oui and baguettes, which is kind of true. Yeah. And we decided to make that one video, and bam, people just...
You had an immediate bam. Is that what happened?
Yeah. I mean, really? It was like we had 2 videos where we just had fun. Like we just posted about ourselves.
Yeah. We've learned how to use the platform.
We were learning about TikTok.
Really?
And then we posted that video because Alex was like, well, we have something special. Yeah. We are French in the US, and we're probably the only ones right now because everybody went back to France, and we decided to stay because we wanted to be able to still be free in the US, and
I just wanted to keep my visa.
Not be stuck in France and never come back, because we had to finish our studies, because we came to the US at first for that, to play soccer and do our studies abroad and live our dream of coming to the US. And so we didn't want to miss out on that dream, so we stayed together and we went to South Carolina, Charleston, to just hang out there, and we started to make videos. And I guess the video that Alex is talking about was the 3rd one we ever posted. So
I'm curious. I mean, if let's say you had different ideas first and they didn't really fly, and you didn't have that immediate bam, I wonder, do you feel like you would have continued with it? Like
that was the only thing we had to do.
That was the whole thing. The whole summer we were just making videos together. So it was not about becoming viral on TikTok. It was just for us having fun together.
That's cool. These are kind of some of the sort of, it's not till after you realize the magical things that happen from being confined, as horrible as it was.
That's the word.
I think it's also because we heard so many times people saying it's so hard to learn French. French people are so rude. So all of these stereotypes also really motivated us to break those and show a different side of the French language and show how easy it could be, how silly, and how amazing Parisian people could be. It's not all about being brutally honest and hating on Americans, and we just thought that all of these old stereotypes, it was time for us to make fun of them and make, the French language more accessible and lighten up, I would say, all of this. So that's, I think, was one of the motivation for sure.
I get you said people study French and all they get is oui and baguette, for example. In Australia, when they teach French, they teach you, it must be in the main textbook or something, that one of the best ways to answer ça va is comme ci, comme ça. I've lived here for 10 years and never heard anyone say.
That's the school French. So there's like school French, spoken French, and it's very different. And also because I guess you hear that on social media, and it's always a catchphrase.
What, comme ci, comme ça?
Yeah, it is.
Have you ever said it in your life?
No.
I mean, we've used it.
I've used it because I want people to understand us.
To be like, don't say comme ci, comme ça, and then we say whatever we really say. And for example, to answer ça va, you just have to say ça va back. So it's just like a conversation that goes ça va, ça va.
Or you say bof.
Bof.
If you're actually doing so.
Or oui, or ouais.
Yeah, ouais, mouais.
Mouais.
You're not gonna have a textbook teaching how to say mouais.
No.
Or I'd say
Don't you think that's a bit of a problem?
Yeah, it is a bit of a problem, and that's why we
all of the
started to teach French.
All of the textbook people have in high school or university are usually dated from like 26, 27.
Even before.
Hang on, what do you mean 26, 27?
Like 2006, 2007.
Oh, I thought you meant like 1926.
No.
That would be a way different French language.
Wow. And I mean, it's, comme ci, comme ça is a pure example of, it's a thing that has been said and like taught for many, many years, and they don't want to change it.
Yeah.
Which is why it's good that social media is here to help people that want to learn.
I mean, I remember when I studied French in Australia, I'd learned it for a while, but you don't really learn anything, like as you guys have shown, and we've talked about already. But I remember once, after years of learning French, the professor came up to me. We crossed paths in a corridor, and he said, "Quoi de neuf?" Right? Yeah. And I had never heard that before.
Quoi de neuf?
And what's new, right? And I froze, and I didn't know how to answer him. I couldn't even figure what he'd said, and I thought, why have I been learning French for years and I can't even answer the first thing that this guy just said to me?
The thing is, the French language is evolving every single day. So like, for example, yesterday I was with a friend that she's from the US, and a guy from Évry was talking to her, but she speaks French. And the guy from Évry has like a slanger way to speak French, because there's like a spoken way, a slang way, and a school way to speak French. Yeah. And whenever she was not picking up on those words, she was actually happy, because she was like, oh, I'm learning new things. Yeah. And there's always different way to speak French. There's many different ways to have different words. And that's what's beautiful about the French language, that probably 10 words can mean the same thing. Or 10 words will mean one word in English. And that's why there's so many different ways to speak and different ways to make a person understand what you want to mean. Like there's different, I don't know how to say that. There's different... like
layers. It's like a millefeuille.
Yeah, it's like there's different layers on what you want to say and which words you need to use to be able to be understood. Yeah.
By the way, this girl's Amanda.
Yeah, American Fee.
Oh, it was Amanda. She's been on the podcast before. She's a friend of the show. Do you guys know a lot of the other content creators in Paris? People like Amanda? You cross paths with a lot of them? Do you get a lot of people who are like, let me be in one of your videos? Do you get a lot of that?
No, I mean, it's not about let me be in your video. It's more about let's collab and do something together so we can merge and educate people about who we are.
It's like the Avengers of the French language, you know. It's and the most beautiful part of this, and I really want to say that in a really humble way. Is that seeing those creators, I mean, I can name a couple. I mean, Edo French, New York City. I mean, Amanda, Alex Chichi's French. I mean, there are, hundreds of creators. Seeing these people sharing the French language, whether they're French or American, that's something that makes me so happy, because when we first started in 2020, no one was doing it. And I was just like, well, it was great because obviously we were the only one doing it. But at the same time, now there's so much inspiration and so much diversity in the content that's out there. You might have one that's going to be more towards like teaching the language, one that's going to be more towards talking about cultural differences. And I think it's amazing for the public and the audience because they can just basically pick whatever they like from one creators to the others and get better at learning French. So that's why sometimes we do this collaboration video, because it brings something that we don't have. Yeah. We bring our little pièce to the édifice. I'm not sure how you would say this. Bring our own like little touch to the video. But yeah, I think collaborations is one of the most beautiful things that we are doing on social media.
And do you have a lot of French people that follow you as well?
I mean, it's a good amount of French, but it's mostly expats that are living in France. Yeah. That's the big thing.
Expats in France,
Expats in France.
The more, every time we say that, but then sometimes we get stopped by French people.
Well, I'm gonna let me do some bragging for you guys to put things into perspective. I can speak only on behalf of Alex, who I've met several times, but we were at that big embassy 4th of July party. Great party, really fun. Lots of people.
They always threw some good party. I can't complain.
I was there last year. It was amazing. This year I was in New Orleans.
You missed out, I'm afraid, Tom. You missed out. But I guess that was your audience right there, because I don't think I've ever seen so many people stop one person as people were stopping you. So when I'm talking to you, because me and you were talking, and usually when we talk, we end up sort of talking sort of business behind the scenes, ideas and stuff like that. We get into it, then someone comes up, they just grab you. Yeah. And it felt like Tom Cruise or something. People just saying,
stop it.
No, but people were interrupting the people who had interrupted to take a picture. And for full credit and compliment, you handled it very well.
I tried, and I remember I sent you a message afterwards to say sorry.
Yeah,
because I do feel bad sometimes.
That was really something. So credit to you for being so nice to everybody, because that was something. But that sort of shows how popular. Because it was French people and American people.
We got British. I mean, it's all over the world. And I mean, I'm sure you'll be also able to say that, but that's also one of the things that we're the most grateful for. Yeah. Being able to be recognized and having... This morning, for example, I was on a soccer field. There's a dad who moved to France 2 years ago, who absolutely loved our videos, and his kid did not speak French when he first moved here. And he wasn't really motivating into learning the language. He was actually a bit let down in terms of he wanted to give up learning, going back to the US. And he started watching our videos with Tom and absolutely fell in love with the language, with how funny the language was. And this morning I met him for the first time, and he was super happy, very, very happy to meet me. And what's funny is now he plays in the soccer club that I grew up playing at.
Nice.
And those little stories, we've had people at festival.
Yeah, I mean, it's always amazing. That's the best part of everything that we do, is to be able to see the people in real life. So
do you mean that really?
Yeah. Honestly, for me, it's just.
But
amazing.
There's got to be a limit. What happens when it happens?
I mean,
too much.
Even if it's never too much, because it's always people that want to meet you, talk to you, and usually when we are friends, it's because either they're tourists or because they're expats and they want to learn more from you, and they want to. Usually, the question is, where should I go next, or
as in where should they
what should they visit, or
really?
Where should we?
But someone like actually Tom Cruise, he's got to think too many people stop him, right?
Tom,
so there has to be a limit.
Tell the story about Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, yeah. So we were at the embassy.
Another embassy,
the French embassy in the US, for the correspondence dinner. And Scarlett Johansson was there. And that was crazy because... So basically, the house is 5 rooms.
Wait yeah, okay.
And
where is this?
The residence of the ambassador.
Okay. Yeah, it's in Washington, D.C., residence of the French ambassador in the US. And there's 5 rooms wherever they do the big soirees and the big parties, wherever they hold events. And Scarlett Johansson was there. And every single time she was going from one room to another, the room
was insanely packed.
75% of the people there, and then the other rooms were completely empty. She was, so that's where you're that's crazy. And she was so nice about it. She was always smiling. She was always greeting people and being super nice. Well, she did refuse a picture with me.
Well, you came.
She's a Francophile, though.
Yeah,
yes. She had a popcorn shop in the Marais.
And her ex-husband is French. But I just asked her whenever she was leaving, and she was like, "I'm sorry, I'm leaving right now." So I can't.
And then she turned and winked and went, "But I love your work."
I wish. Oh my god!
She would have took the picture if you knew.
And it was so funny because even her husband was there, the host of SNL.
Yeah,
and they were just going separately to one room, packed people, and then her. It was so. I think that to this point, I think it becomes overwhelming, and you're
it didn't seem for her overwhelming.
She's an actress.
No.
Yeah,
but also I guess similar with you guys and for her, you've chosen it as well. She gets paid a $1 billion to be in the movies. That comes.
She's a professional, so she has to.
But you guys are professionals too. I want to, if we can touch on business side of it for.
Absolutely.
I think there'll be people listening who love France and who love the language, but I think there are also people who are thinking, these guys have millions of followers on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. How do they hire people? How do they make a living out of this?
I'll be super honest with you. Nowadays on social media, people think that we make so much money from collaborations, from viewership. That's not what pays us.
Yeah.
You are not making a living out of collaborating with brands or because you're making 50 million views a month. That used to be like this 15 years ago when YouTube was big. I think that the most important part of being a creator is being able to brand yourself.
Yep.
And by branding yourself, it means creating products, services. So as you see a lot of people creating merch, for example. You see a lot of people doing products on Amazon and things like that. And for us, we really wanted to do something on brand and do something that was on the same goal as in our videos, which is learning French while having fun. So you're like, what are we going to do? And then we decided to create a French club. Yeah. And this French club, we have about 500 members from all around the world, mostly based in the United States, who receive a recorded lesson from us 3 times a week. We host office hours with them on Thursday and Friday nights.
We have live sessions.
We have live session masterclasses on every Sunday. We have an AI that we developed with Google to help them work on their pronunciation. We have discount with hotels and airlines. We host events around the world, wherever we are, whether it's in London, New York, Paris. So we decided to basically create a French club that will bring us closer to the people who really love the French language, but also really love us. And that's something that we've created almost celebrating the 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, for me, I mean, I don't want to speak on behalf of you, but that's the thing that I'm the most proud of is the creation of the French club.
Yeah, definitely the best thing we have. It's amazing to see those people. That's funny because last office hour I did was on Friday, and I told them that was the best time of my day. Like on Friday, I didn't do anything, and I had the office. I mean, I filmed some videos and looked around for content. But afterwards, I had the office hour.
You got to explain the office hour.
So an office hour, it's basically having the students showing up and hanging out with you, asking you questions about how to improve their French.
Do you mean like a kind of like a Zoom call?
It's a Zoom call, exactly. Yeah. It's the Zoom call.
And do you say office hour like it's an hour? Or
it's an hour.
American would understand office hour.
Office
I get it, but I just want to make sure.
It's more like so we have master classes on Sunday wherever we teach or guide people to learn French, and the office hours is more for them to speak with us and ask us all the questions they have about the French culture, about learning French, about the spoken way to say that, about the slang, about
the lessons we posted.
Yeah, about anything that they have in mind about the French language, they can ask us during that time.
And you guys don't really like promote this.
So we only promote it whenever we open the club, because the club is not always open. So because we do not want too many members, because we're really focusing on the people that are in the club, because it's like a community that's very close to each other.
Yeah.
And everything. So basically there is like a feed wherever it's kind of like on Facebook, wherever everyone speaks to each other. We have group chats, we have Telegram chats, WhatsApp groups where everyone speaks to each other. You also have access to our own phone numbers, and people talk to us every single day.
Wow.
And like, it's really to be close to each members and getting to know them. And imagine if you have 3,000 people, that's not going to be the same experience for the people that are with us on the club. So that's why we really want to be close to them. And the club is only open whenever we feel that the members that are already in the club can have made enough progress and can allow other people to come and bring the joy back up and bring the experience back up, and having some new energy into the club.
There's a lot more going on beneath the still waters.
I mean, we've created so many relationships. I was in Oakland watching a soccer game with one of our members. I flew.
You had like 5. There was 5 members.
5 members. Yeah, I flew to Paris. I coordinated with a French club member to fly on the same flight as her. I mean, I had dinner in Paris with one of them, and I think
events in Paris.
The most beautiful part of this club is when you're on social media and post video that reach millions of people. You don't really create any relationships.
Yeah,
it really just is you posting and then them having that relationship, but like, you really don't have the same because you don't know their names. You don't really know who they are.
Yes.
And that French club is what's giving us what we've been missing on social media.
Yeah, because I can relate to this because I've had some things go viral on different platforms before. And once they go viral, it's sort of like you have to be like, at least me, I have to be like, that's out there now. I can't do anything about that. You can't keep up with the comments. You can't even read the comments.
Yep.
No, you do for the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, but then it's, I mean, you guys have millions of hits on everything. But for me, when I have millions of hits on something, I'm like, it's done. So I don't know what it's like for you guys. But for me, same with this podcast, there are people who are core listeners who listen to every episode, who've been there from the beginning. And I think I could sit here right now and write probably 200 people's names who over the years have just been that's super involved.
That's amazing. And thank you so much for watching, whoever's watching, listening. Whoever's listening right now, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our story.
What lovely guests you guys both are.
We'll try to be.
I'm going to finish with, because half an hour has already passed. I told you.
Okay,
go quickly.
Goes fast.
We talk about, let's end on the future.
Yeah.
Where do you guys? Are you guys sort of living day to day, month to month, or
for now it's day to day, but the future is a big question for us. We want to innovate.
We're in the middle of it right now.
We are thinking
in the middle of the future.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the future.
We're in the middle of preparing.
Yeah, we're brainstorming what are the next steps for us, and we are excited about the future because there's amazing things that probably gonna.
I think that
come soon.
Yeah, I think when you're in the entertainment industry, it's kind of hard to just leave and get a 9-to-5 job, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just like right now, it's a bit stressful. I think I got to be honest, being able to brainstorm a way to stay on social media, but maybe do something else.
Yeah.
So right now we're potentially going to explore the option of doing unscripted, which can be documentaries on potentially exploring France. Yeah, in obviously a fun way. Maybe doing unscripted with us in the United States, sending us to some really silly places.
Long format content, basically.
Yeah, long format content.
Like a Netflix show, you guys, something like that, or you do it your own way? Or?
Hopefully Netflix, but I don't think it's.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not going to be with a streaming platform, it'll definitely be produced by us.
That's what's cool is that nowadays you can do it yourself. Like you look at some of the people on YouTube or whatever who are doing better videos. Like look at Mr. Beast's version of the what was that the game where people got
the Squid Game.
Yeah, he did a bigger budget, version. More popular version. By
everything he does.
Mr. Beast probably has more budget than some of the streaming platforms.
He's the biggest content creator,
and that's what's exciting. And I think you guys are also a really good example of showing what you can do when you take matters in your own hand and you have a vision and you guys are following it through, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, I think as long as you work hard and you go for it and you have ideas and you act on them, then you can do almost anything. Nowadays, there's options to do everything. There is opportunities everywhere. You just have to look and go for it and just don't think about it. And then whenever it happens, think about it a little bit and be like,
voila.
Exactement.
But it's exciting. So congratulations for what you've created so far. It's really fun to chat a little bit behind the scenes, and always fun to run into both of you now, I hope.
Yeah.
And just hear how you're doing it, because it's inspiring. I think a lot of people will be inspired as well. The last question is, for people who've listened to this whole episode and who haven't ever seen any of your stuff, where would each of you direct them specifically to go and check out your work? I mean specific. A video specifically.
Specific?
Yeah, I'll even link it.
Okay.
One that you just go look back and go, that's us.
Oh wow,
it's a nice place to jump.
Actually, we've posted over 1,000 videos.
We had a lot of questions in the past, and this one never came up.
Good.
It's actually.
I know. Wow. Nobody ever asked us what's our favorite video. For me, I don't know, man. It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
It has to be a skit.
Imagine someone's out there with their finger ready to press.
Yeah.
Where are they going?
It has to be a skit. Oh man. I think the video of us pronouncing, but the thing is, like, it used to be us, but like in the past. But I really like this video of us in the car pronouncing English word, because we're just
funny.
being very genuine about not knowing how to pronounce English words. But
it was at the very beginning. We were mispronouncing. I mean, trying to pronounce English words correctly, but we were mispronouncing
Was
them.
that the one, like the very...
It was at the very beginning.
Was that the one where you said words like Worcester and stuff?
Yes,
like
Worcestershire. Worcestershire, yeah. But this is where it all started. So like for me, I would say this one, and because it was a series that we started this on social media, and then every single person from all the countries did it. It was called Hardest English Words to Pronounce. Yeah. And then people from Spain, people from literally anywhere was doing the same trend. Okay. So I think, this one. And what part was it? Was that part?
That was part 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the car, I remember we were like...
I'm like shirtless. What am I doing?
So funny. Wow. we were like at the beach right before, and we just filmed the video. It was like the good old times where we were like just enjoying we're still enjoying, but we just like...
In a sense, there was no business behind it. Just posting.
And what about you, Tom? What's one?
So, I guess the ones that really made us go from, if I can say it that way, little content creators to bigger ones were the How Do You Say series. So we had the series for like 7 months, every single day, posting about how do you say whatever word in French, and all of the words were homonyms.
Yeah.
So they were just like, for example, ver, 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 ver.
Yeah.
Mer, mer, mer,
mer. All of them, we were like, and what we were doing during that time is we would literally spend hours on French dictionaries looking at all the single definitions of every single word that we would put and try to make
the sentence part was the hardest.
Trying to make sense out of the sentence.
So like the green worm
goes toward the green glass.
And trying to make sense out of it. And we did that for, I would say, probably like 6 to 7 months. Every single day, different words.
So which is the one? Which is the one that you...
Oh my God. The one that I would recommend is probably the Rennes.
Rennes.
The Rennes one. Yeah.
As in Queen and...
Queen, the city of Rennes.
We made a mistake on that one, though.
We always did like a little mistake sometimes, so we had to correct ourselves.
On purpose. So people can...
sometimes it's on purpose.
The comment section then goes crazy.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, mostly we try still to not make a mistake. But yeah, either the Rennes one or any other ones that
all of them are so
all
fun.
Of them are funny, and especially the end. It's either Alex or I like on the handstand. So basically that's kind of the handstands are kind of like how we end up all the skits and the funny videos that we make. It's just like a brr kind of ending, and during that time we were doing so many of them, so that's funny. And we also did like little funny sentences, like in front of the Earful Tower. We were just like, acting like a tourist trying to speak French. So I would say this series, and especially one video, I would go probably the Rennes one.
I say lucky that that series is finished, because with a broken wrist, not many handstands.
I'll do them for him, don't worry. I have a pretty strong neck.
I'll leave you guys with this thought. In English, if you ever end up doing the opposite, maybe it would already work.
Oh, do you know sometimes?
Do you know which word has the most definitions?
Because
I do.
I knew.
Wait, you did
because
it?
I did it.
Oh, maybe you've already done it.
You did it. It's,
I had the idea of doing it, and with Alex we did that.
You're gonna say that, I'm going.
Well, if maybe it's the one that you did, but as I know, the word with the most definitions is set.
Set.
S-E-T.
Like a tennis set.
Set the table. The jelly sets.
Okay, cool.
Well, all right, there you go.
That's got like 2 pages. There you go. Give me a shout out when you do it.
All right. Say less.
Alex and Tom, thank you for coming into the studio and for being a part of the Earful Tower world. I really appreciated chatting to you. And it's cool to, like I said, get a little glimpse behind the curtains. A big fan of what you guys are doing, and keep on doing it.
Well, merci for having us over. I appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Merci.
It was amazing.
There you go. That was Alex and Tom. You can find more of their stuff. Just search AT Frenchies on all the social media platforms. But if you want to find more, atfrenchies.com. It'll be linked in the show notes below. As for me, my name's Oliver G. This is the Earful Tower. And if you want to get a lot more out of this show, become a Patreon member. Patreon.com/The Earful Tower. Lots of extra good stuff there. I'll be back again on Monday with another episode. Thanks so much for listening, and au revoir.